So it's really late out here in the day, very light breeze, and well, spring has finally arrived. So what we have here is this is more of like an extras video than anything else because let's see. Here, I'm just finishing off testing the seating depth for IMR 4955, but I also decided, hey, I actually have some 145 grainer flat-based bullets. These are, I think, Spear Grand Slams. Yeah, Spear Grand Slams. Let's see how they perform. So I'm gonna go ahead and try that. I didn't do a full workup of loads, but still, we'll see. Now, the main thing I plan on looking at today, and I have things set up weird here. This is the oddball one, but this is obviously 303 British with the Hornady match. I really like these. But anyway, this is one that's been resized with my Lee full-length sizing die. What I've done here is that my neck sizing, it's gotten to that point where you eventually have to size the body, and I bought a Redding body size die. So these have been formed with the Redding body size die, and then I did my usual neck sizing operation on them, and then I trimmed them all for uniformity. And so we have these 5 here because we're confirming loads. These are actually still with the best loads I had worked up. So 36 grains of 3031. We're going to see if they still produce a clover leaf, if our groups overlap. This one, we're going to fire just for funsies, but these are ones I did not body form. In fact, I wonder if we can see the difference here. I gotta remember that. The one on the... God, I can hardly see it with how much light's in my eyes. Hopefully the video picks it up. Maybe if I place it against the... And come on, focus. Yeah. So you can see the difference there. So actually I grabbed one of each. Okay, so to explain, so this is one that has been only neck formed or neck sized. And you can see how far up the shoulder is. That is what makes reloading for 303 British such a pain. In the middle, we have something that's been full length sized with my Lee die, and then this has been body formed, or body sized rather I should say, with my Redding body size die, but then I've neck sized it. I have an RCBS neck sizer. So look at the difference. And so one thing we're going to do today is see if there's any difference with these, because the only thing we've changed with them is how we've formed the body. Well, with the exception of this one, of course. That's going to have different neck tension. I bet you that's going to fire differently. But that's part of the fun. Now what I have here, now these are Staball 6.5 for the powder. I got Federal Match primers, and I'm using 45 grains. This is the best load that I could work up with 6.5 and 303 British, and it produced a group that was just under an inch. But what we're doing here, we're messing around with seating depth. So this is 3.070, 050, 030, and then finally this is 3 on the dot. Yes, I realize I didn't follow exact pattern, but we said, you know what, let's just do it. So that is what plan of action I have today. So now I just need to set up targets and all that other fun. This line here, you can see, these were neck sized only. Focus. There we go. And you can see nothing wrong. But what I was also doing is comparing them to the ones where I had to full length resize, or rather body form. And you can see there, oh, that's interesting. Flattened primers. Nothing I haven't seen before, nothing too bad, no expansive ring, I'm sorry, you know what I mean. No case head. Oh, hello, little bug. Shoo. Okay. No stress marks from overstretching, so that's fine. that one, that's fine too. That just happens. But you'll notice that I have one that's unfired here. Actually, it was right over there. What happened to the fourth one? Well, I'll show you. Right there. This is what happens when you have a case head separation. Rather, a catastrophic failure of a case head separation. Don't worry, I'm fine. The rifle's fine. We do have the rest of that brass stuck in the chamber though. We have to fish it out. I have a tool for that. This has happened to me a couple of times. Very frustrating. So, lesson learned. Don't expect your best charge that was worked up in the middle of winter to work in the middle of summer. And these were only loaded with about 36 grains, which is not an overcharge. The only difference here is that I just body sized the brass. Huh. Now, how did the groups do? Let's take a look. And I can also see all the shotgun shells and all the other lovely stuff on the ground. Now, I have to admit something. When that happened, I became very frustrated. And basically, I put the gun away, because obviously I couldn't do anything else with it, and took out my .22 and started plinking. So this target's going to look like garbage. I'm going to show you it anyway. Because it doesn't look so great. Anyway, so the ones that are marked off, those are the next sized ones. And you can see I kind of almost have two groups going, but it has some verticality. Honestly, it is getting later towards the day. I think I was having trouble focusing on the front sight. However, you'll see that the second set of groups, 1, 2, 3, 4, there's the fourth one. You got some verticality too. I'm willing to say that actually, just with the change of temperature, it affected the harmonics enough that it got splayed all over the place. But then again, this verticality, it can be indicative of having trouble focusing. I'll own up to it. So this is the next day, and one of these is from the Lee full-length sizing. The other one is the Redding body-sized. My brain isn't working. Anyway, so I think the issue I had yesterday was with the sun in my eyes. I think I did have trouble focusing on the front sight, but this one I'm assuming is probably from the Lee. This one is probably from body sizing, because you can see where the group was kind of forming. These ones are just me being adult. But yeah. However, look at this. You can see where basically, well, that one you can see a lot more clearly. Basically, I was very close to having some case head separations here. And both of these, let's see, actually, the one that's more clean, believe it or not, is from the full-length sizing. The Lee, this one is from the body forming. I don't know why it ended up being so much more dirty. But, yeah, so basically it's time to retire the brass. But I still have to see how the Staball 6.5 does. My point of aim is right there. I have my 6 o'clock hold as usual. So this is a Staball 6.5 with 45 grains, propelling a 174 grain 40D match bullet. And I'm doing groups of 5, and well, I'm very ashamed of that one. But you see there? That's loaded to 3.070. We're going to be doing a seating depth analysis. So we already have them marked off. 1, 1, 1, 1, and 1. So let's see how 3.050 does. So this is my 5-shot group. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You can see that there's a lot of overlapping here. And one kind of outlier. Still a bit of verticality there. If you're interpreting this, I mean, you could easily say, watch your breathing. But it could be just a load, or it could be me still having issues focusing on the front sights. But I don't think that's it. It's getting maybe a little bit dark, but I don't have the sun in my eyes. Conditions are actually pretty perfect, so I think it's the load. Either way, much better, especially when you take the flyer into account. But we'll see how the next 2 sets of charges come up. I might have to put out another target, but we'll see. Okay, so these are the 3rd string of shots. I have 5 shots in here, but you can see they're pretty much they're clover leafing. They're pretty much all getting in one hole. Now, with the exception being there, which I could clearly identify, and that one up there too. So they're all pretty much within 1.5 inches, which is phenomenal for a rifle that is, let's see, 104 years old now. That's great. So we have 1 more string left to shoot, and I can compare all the videos, so afterwards I can do kind of a bench analysis. So this is my 4th and final string of 5 shots, and you know, I had a feeling I'd pulled a shot. We're still going to include it though, because this is a big jump. This is 30 thousandths. So this is an overall length of 3 inches exactly, and it's about 2 1/4 group, roughly. Let's compare that to the previous 3. You can see that the point of impact also changed just a little bit, because usually it's up there. We started with 3.070, then 0.50, and then 3.030, yeah. And 0.30 was definitely the most accurate, because it's pretty much all in this little 1.5 inch group. You can see there, boom. So this is kind of my final bit. I'm gonna do a 3.5 Staball with 303 British at least, and overall I'm actually pretty pleased with it. I'm kind of disappointed in myself that I was never able to get cloverleaf groups. I feel like with more fiddling I could do that, but you want to know something? The most accurate group we got here today roughly corresponds with the most accurate group that we got during the winter, and all we had to do was fiddle with some seating depth. So that kind of goes to show that it really is kind of a temperature insensitive powder. Maybe not as much as some of us would like, but for ball powder, that's pretty good.